Hi there, today I'm going to be showing you how to make custom sized masks that'll actually fit really well to your own personal profile. This is a little bit like what I'll be showing you how to do and how to cut a pattern. This one's made out of woven fabric, but you can do it out of stretch fabric. The mask will have little ear elastics as well as a neck elastic. I'm finding that having both on a mask makes it really comfortable and easy to hang around your neck when you're not using it. For the mask making itself, you'll need some basic tools. Some paper towel, stapler, a texture of some sort, and some scissors. Okay, so you need a piece of paper towel. You put the paper towel on the face, make sure it's covering his nose and up to his ears. Now you draw a line down in the center of his nose to the end of the nose, and you find his chin. And then you come over to the chin line and draw down the chin line. And then you find the ears. The bottom of the ear is there. And the top of the ear is about here. And what you have to do, you have to come over and make space for the eyes. And come over, sorry, I'll do the rest on the table. So this is the rough drawing. So I'll join up the dots now. This is the nose, and I'm coming down to create a curve to the bottom of the chin, and I'm drawing up to the ear. This was the top ear. There's a little bit of a difference there, so I might bring this down halfway. We can always fix it once we try. Got another piece of paper underneath, and I'm going to cut out 2 copies of this. That's it, go, finish. So I've now got 2 pieces like that. I've curved the edges, and this area has to be a straight line. In fact, I've noticed it curves a little bit, so I'm just going to straighten it up in accordance with the profile. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the stapler, and I'm going to staple very close to the edges, and we're going to try it on the model. So it's now stapled together, and I'm going to test it on the model, and it's quite a nice fit. If we just see though here, I think we could actually add a little bit more here. So you can see by this pattern where I've just extended the chin line a little bit. So I'll repeat the process, cut 2 and staple them together. So you can see somehow this has got a lot bigger. So I've just reset it again, and we've just come under the ear, and I've made a straight line down to the bottom of the ear. And then we've just drawn in a new shape. So this is what the final pattern looks like. So the mask shape on the right is the one I've just drafted. You can see a huge difference in the shape between this and mine. Just goes to show how different faces can be. The important thing to remember is these points here are the measurement of about the top ear to the bottom half of the ear where it attaches to the face. This here is the length of the nose and the angle of the nose. So yes, you can see how mine sticks out more. And then this whole thing is the whole profile of the face and the chin. So we're ready to sew now. We'll be back in a while. I've pinned the paper pattern onto some fabric on a fold. So I will cut 2 pieces. Both of them will be mirror image of each other. The white line around has been drawn 15 millimeters away from the edge. This is the seam allowance. I'll also need some lining for the mask, so I've placed the pattern on top, and this is some really nice thick cotton. Again on a fold, so I get 2 mirror image pieces. So here are my 4 pieces of fabric. I will be sewing the center seam now. So the next stage is to pin the center seams together, right sides together. So I'm sewing the center seams now with 15mm seam allowance, coming all the way down. This is the mask itself, and I will be doing the lining as well. All the way down, sort of around the curve a little bit, and then finishing off. Once the seams are sewn, trim the edges. Then you will need to clip the curves and press the seams open. Okay, so the seams have been pressed open. So what I'm doing now is I'm pinning with right sides together, the back, the lining, and the outside of the mask, all around the edge. And then what I will do, I'll show you how to sew it. The next stage will be to sew the seams. Now there's a little bit of a trick to this. What you want to do first is you want to sew a seam all the way down here. Finish it off with some back stitching so it's nice and tight. You'll also want to do a whole seam on this side as well, right from the top all the way through to the bottom. Then the seams you need to sew is starting about 15 mil away from the line you have sewn. Start and sew all the way around again to about 15 mil away from this. So you'll pretty much have stitching all the way around except for here, 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 and here. Now, don't just leave 1.5 mil here. Leave more like 5 or 6 centimeters, so 50 or 60 centimeters gap, because this is how you'll be able to turn the mask inside out. So here are my stitching lines. You can see where I've stitched, leaving a bigger gap here to turn the mask inside out. What you'll realize is that these spaces are channels to put the ear loops and the neckties in. Makes it easy. Be very careful when you turn everything inside out. It'll put pressure on the seams just here, so that's why it's good to do a double seam. When you turn it inside, you can use the point of your scissors to put the corners nice and square. And once it's all nice and neat and everything's been turned out as far as it can go, you'll be ready to top stitch. So what we'll be doing is we'll be top stitching very close to the edge all around here, but we'll be coming in 15 mils here, and this is where your channel will be. I've turned the mask inside out, and attention will need to be paid to the corners. You might want to use a screwdriver. Because these are open, when the channel's going, you might need to fiddle around so everything stays nice and flat. You'll have this corner here, which is where we've turned it inside out, and you'll hold it together. And you can start to see by twiddling it a little bit, it lays nice and flat. And then we can pin it, and then we will be top stitching it. Right, starting 15 mil in from the edge, and with the machine foot on the right hand position, I'll start to top stitch around the mask. I've pinned it so it sits nice, and it's a matter of going around . When I get to this side, don't forget the casing for the elastic. So I'll finish about here and I'll sew down the edge, and I'll do that the other side as well, joining up with my start of my sewing. A close-up will show exactly where I've top stitched. This of course is the back of the mask, but it's bit clearer to show you how it's been done. For the neckties and ear loops, I'm using a product I purchased from Bunnings, actually to tie my tomato plants up. It's like a stretchy t-shirt material. I've cut it about 92 centimeters long, so thereabouts, and this is actually quite wide, so I'll cut it down the middle, all the length, and that will give me 2 ties, neck ties. A nice big needle allows me to thread the fabric through. Ear loops of about 30 centimeter long have also been cut and threaded through the casing. A knot has been tied at the end, and you'll have to adjust this a little bit just to make sure that it's the right length for your mask. The knot then gets threaded up into the casing so you don't see it, it becomes invisible. Here we have the mask in action. It's been tied around the neck, and then we just have to put the ear loops in place and just adjust it for comfort, and there it's ready to go.